at legal issues in the news with our in-house legal expert, attorney Tom Olsen. This is Olsen on Law.
Alan Spector here once again, and every Tuesday and Thursday at this time, we bring you Olsen on Law with longtime Orlando attorney Tom Olsen. Tom, good morning.
Good morning, Alan and crew and WFLA listeners.
You know, Tom, the other day we touched on the topic of nuptial agreements, both pre and post, and that's what we're going to be discussing a little more in depth this morning. My first question, prenuptial agreements, are they enforceable in Florida?
Prenuptial agreements are not enforceable in every state, but prenuptial agreements are enforceable in the state of Florida.
So what's the difference between a prenuptial and a postnuptial agreement?
A prenuptial agreement gets signed before you get married. A postnuptial agreement gets signed after you get married. The real difference is that a prenuptial agreement does not require that the parties do a financial disclosure to each other. A postnuptial agreement requires that each party give a full financial disclosure to each other. If that financial disclosure is not accurate, that postnuptial agreement may not be enforceable.
So, Tom, what situations does a prenuptial cover?
Well, number one, it covers that if the parties get divorced, neither party will be obligated to pay alimony to the other. And number two, it states that upon the first of the parties to pass away, the surviving party is waiving a right to receive an elective share of the other party's estate.
So what does someone need to know if they are thinking about a prenuptial agreement?
Well, number one, that they are what they do for one, they do for the other. So they're exactly equal. They're serve both parties. Number two, when the drafting attorney can only represent one of the parties, so each party must have their own lawyer. And maybe most importantly is get that prenuptial agreement signed well ahead of your marriage. Don't ask your spouse to get a prenuptial the day before you get married.
So who should be thinking about this? Who would be the most likely candidate for a prenuptial agreement?
People who are getting married later in life, they've got children from previous marriages, and they want their wealth to go to their children, not to their surviving spouse. Those are the perfect candidates for prenuptial agreements.
All right, if you have questions about this or anything else legal, Tom will be happy to answer them on the Olsen on Law show. That is heard Saturdays at 10 a.m. on our sister station, 96.9 The Game. A reminder, Tom and I do the Tuesday and Thursday morning segments on Zoom. You can watch the video now or later on Twitter and Facebook and see my awesome Def Leppard t-shirt. Tom, thanks so much. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, Alan.
And remember, for all of your legal needs, call the Olsen